Hey, what up, muted girl? This is the Laurie Hour podcast with your dude, Bvaz 711, taking over for Laura, who is muted.
I'm telling you, yo, listen, today is a day. Like, normally when we come out of intro, the mic unmutes and it's on mute. So, you know, Lord, why? Why me today? But anyway, y'all, hey. Listen, I am here today, y'all, and we got a very special guest. His name is Pat Sims, and he hails out of Youngtown, Ohio. Pat, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, because I kind of
Hello, how you guys doing? My name is Pat Sims. I'm 37 years old. I've been married for 14 years, or actually 13 years, and got about 15 days, and then it'll be 14 years on that. And we'll be celebrating our 14th anniversary. I got 3 kids, Donovan, Jaden, and Peyton. Ages 16, that's my oldest. Jaden would be about 13 years old, and then Peyton's 9 years old. Super proud of her. I finally got my baby girl. And we are super excited to be doing this with you guys. I mean, it's just awesome. It's a good start to a journey. So that's who I am. I run Cruise the Creek right here in Youngtown, Ohio. And we just feature on electric bikes, doing the electric bike rentals for the beautiful park at Mill Creek Park.
All righty. Well, I'm going to ask you more on that in a few.
Okay.
We're so grateful to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. We so appreciate it. So tonight's podcast, guys, we're going to get into the Trend Corner with Laura D. And tonight we're going to be covering Tamla Horsford. For those who don't know who she is the mother of 5. And she's not just the mother of 5. She's a wife. She's a child. She's a sister. She's a niece. She is someone who lost her life under very suspicious circumstances. And we're going to cover that and give you guys the information that we found out, that the family found out through independent autopsies. So I'm so excited to dig into this. So we're going to be covering that story in just a few. But I wanted to touch base on something that we were talking about this Tuesday on the podcast, and that was about student loan forgiveness. And for those who don't know, Sleepy Joe went ahead and signed down with papers so we can get that student loan forgiveness. So there will be a $20,000 forgiveness for people who took out federal Pell Grants. And for those who did not take out federal Pell Grants, they will be receiving $10,000. But the debate on the show between Brandon and I'm not even going to really say debate, but we couldn't agree whether this was going to change.
It was debate. It was great, little back and forth.
It was a little back and forth. It was a little, we ruffled each other's feathers a little bit. But so we talked about what that looked like for Black and brown people, right? And so that's not supposed to be today's podcast, but I have to just kind of throw this out there at BVAS a little bit. So anyways, my take on it was that if the way the student loan forgiveness was going to affect the Black and brown community was, we were going to be able to own things. We were going to be able to get home loans, business loans, and other type of loans. So I am very, very excited to announce that Bank of America said that they
crashed her stream. That's what they said. So
what he said?
Hey guys, I'm late. I'm sorry. How y'all doing?
What you say, BBS?
I said that Bank of America said, you paused, and I was like, that they said they crashed your stream.
Oh my goodness, my stream.
It did for a hot second.
Bad hair day. I come in, Mike is muted, and then I'm trying to drop this information. Who out there on the internet don't like me right now? Why y'all give me that bad voodoo?
I guarantee you, whoever's watching this, either in post are watching this live just laughed their ass off at the time.
I bet you they did. But anyway, so Bank of America is offering, they will be launching a program to offer Black and brown borrowers zero down towards a mortgage. So that is a plus. And then there was an article published and said that this student loan forgiveness looks very promising for the Black and brown community because they were going to see more uprises in them getting home loans and getting approved for the home loans. So I sent you the links. I wanted to go ahead and rub that in your face a little bit.
Look, you didn't throw anything in my face. I just told you the logic on the economics 101. We could do macro or micro. Let's do micro right now. We're going to talk about the little things, right? So on the microeconomic scale, yes, that is a great incentive for those who are first-time home buyers. Like, no doubt about it. Great incentive.
Right now.
However, if you defaulted on your loans and you have not paid those loans, what are the chances of you defaulting on your home loan?
Brandon, you do remember when people would get
hang on, guys. How do you think 2008 happened? How do you think 2008?
That's different. It's different because people aren't going to
pop in 2008.
They're not going to prioritize their student loans over their home loan. Because I'm gonna be like, they get their money when they get their money.
No. You're not hearing me. A loan is someone with money willing to lend you that money, and the chances that you will repay that. Now think about foreclosures. Look at the stats for those, and then you come back to like what has happened in the last like 6-7 years since we've had this housing bubble pop and then we came back out of it.
Foreclosures rose up during COVID.
No, that was before. I got something to say.
Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
Brandon.
You lost.
Okay. Let me eat a fry. Fries courtesy of Popeyes.
Hey,
so
we lost Pat.
Oh no. So
yeah. Find out where's Pat.
You say that because somebody defaulted on a student loan that they would default on per se like
the chances.
Loan. The chances. Okay, but you got to remember that when people were getting these student loans, we were 17, 18, 19 years old. We didn't know no fucking better. Now that we're in our 30s, we know better. Some people may not, but also as well, some people may do. You can't just say that, you defaulted those student loans. You can be like, fucking, I'm defaulted on this house loan too.
Again, you could say that, right? But I'm looking at it from an economic standpoint that we're going to get another housing bubble.
But we're not about to get into that. We'll say that, guys. We're going to say that for a different day because we got a whole different podcast we need to be talking about right here. Okay. So, girl, what? You was
I like that. Good job there, Shaka.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Shaka. Yes,
hi, Shaka. Shaka says mortgage literally means death pledge.
I mean, that's for real, though. I mean, that's true. Because whatever house you buy, depending on where you buy it at, like I just told my husband, like,
die in that house
is down.
You're still going to die owing it.
It's only like I was saying down here, houses, they start out like $200-something thousand, and it's like if I'm buying a house for $200-something thousand at say like 35, I'm gonna have to literally live in the house till I die. I gotta be buried in the house and everything because literally that's where all my money.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but you have to think of it as, let me hurry up and get to this point. Think of it as an asset because the house is an asset. So it doesn't even matter if you die. You have the asset to leave Ivy behind. So you make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Keep the house upkept. Keep the taxes paid, and hopefully you paid that house down enough where your daughter doesn't have to pay anything but taxes. And we're gonna leave that there. So, anyways, I am so excited to have Pat. Pat, thank you for being here and being patient through these technical difficulties that we have in our tardiness. So, guys, really want to get into the story of Tamla Horsford. She is the Black woman who was found face down in Atlanta. In Georgia. It wasn't Atlanta. It was in a county in Georgia. Yes. And guys, so many people do not know about this story. And for the people who do know about the story, we found out about the story via Facebook. We didn't find out through mainstream media. So it took for us, you know how Black women are. We investigators. Even Black men, we be investigating. If it's something to find out, we gonna find out. So everyone just really just wanted to know why the people who were at the slumber party with her were not arrested. So Miss Horsford went to a slumber party with some friends. They were so this neighborhood is an upscale neighborhood. She went to a slumber party with them, and she happened to be the only African American woman there. And so early in the morning, the next morning, someone made a 911 call. They told dispatchers that she was face down, and she was basically deceased. And the police came out and investigated, right? But no one was arrested, and they labeled this as an accident. There was no crime. So for I think maybe 2 years, there's no one has been arrested. Stories never added up or anything like that. So really, let's get to it. Let me add this to the stream real quick. So this is Miss Horsford, and I want to get down and ask you guys: do you guys think her murder was it a murder or accident? So I'm gonna give you guys a bit of information, right? And I'm gonna let you guys conclude what you think, and then we're gonna get to answering whether y'all think it's an accident or murder. I am so sorry, guys. Today's a day. It's a day. So, anyways, so the family hired a private investigator. Her father, her husband, and her best friend. Her best friend, who happens to be a Caucasian lady, she said something just didn't sit well with her. She said the way that they found her body position, and she was allegedly so inebriated that she fell over from a second story home, and she had no broken bones. No broken bones. And the autopsy did not quite indicate how she died. And here's the thing, guys. When the police came out to investigate, originally, investigators said that the situation seemed very funny. They said it just didn't seem right, the story that they was given, because of the way her body was positioned, the way she had landed. Like, if she would have fell from the second story, they were saying she shouldn't have landed where she landed if she fell. Come to find out, after the family hired private investigators and another independent, who does autopsy? I can't think. They had an independent autopsy done.
Coroner?
Yes.
Coroner.
So after that, the second coroner said there's no way she fell from second stories and had not one fracture. Not one fracture. And then the way her body was positioned. And so then police audio got released. They held on to that for a while. Almost everyone that was at that slumber party knew every officer that arrived to that crime scene. They either worked with them or their wives. The one cop, his boss's wife was at the slumber party. Another officer, he was a friend with the gentleman there. So they all knew each other. And the family just said, how does this happen? Why is nothing being done? Me, you guys, this new information. How do you guys feel about this? Do you think this could have been possible murder, or do you think it was truly an accident?
It was murder. Because like you said, she had no broken bones. If she would have fell 2 stories, there would have been like a broken arm, leg, neck, something. So, but it's just like that story with that boy in Valdosta, Kendrick Johnson, same way. Like, wrapped up,
organs missing. But
we ain't gonna talk about that because that's for another podcast too. Definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, that's definitely. I don't think it was an accident like that.
So you say murder, Pat? I'm actually gathering from the little bit of information I gave you, because you said you didn't even know about this story.
No, I tend to stay away from like that mainstream. Like, even if this wasn't mainstream, but those stories that just kind of come up. It fell through the cracks. I had no idea that this was even going on or even happening like that. And I'm sure it happens all over the country. Like, I'm sure this is just one of the stories that actually got out because it got the recognition that it deserved. But this probably happens constantly. It's, in my opinion, I think it's just something where somebody who didn't belong or didn't fit in the correct way, if the authorities want it to be that way, they can make it seem that way. It's going to be that way.
Pat, I like the way you think. So your vote would be, you think maybe murder, foul play?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Be Bass. And then I'm going to come back and ask you guys more in depth. Why do you think is that? BVAS, what do you think? Murder or accident?
At first, I thought we were in Mill Creek Park in the 90s because things like that were like an everyday occurrence. So let's go to the one thing that caught my attention. A couple things: face down and no bones broken, but fell from a second story. I think it was an accidental.
Wait.
And it was a cover-up.
Wait.
That's my thing.
Let me give you something else I forgot left out. Her body was repositioned too.
Okay, reposition. Well, here's what I was saying.
Before the cops got there, the way that the husband said that she fell, her arm was a different way, and then when the cops got there, they had her hand repositioned because they could tell that it was moved through the dirt. So I forgot to tell you that too.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like it could be an accidental death. Depending on what was going on at the party, could have been drugs, could have stopped her heart. She could have had an instant
that was
death.
ruled out.
Well, I don't have the coroner report. I'm just going off of what you're telling me. None of that stuff you said. So all I could say is like it could be an accidental thing because of drinking, drugs. It could be also the person had an undisclosed health issue. Could have been a brain aneurysm. There's so many things it could be, or put in a situation that at a party someone can have an accidental death. Could have been that they drowned and they try to cover it up. So the thing is that probably something happened in the home and they did something to make it look like something else. And that's where the cover up comes in. But I think it was an accidental death at first.
So
that's where I would rule first. If there's no broken bones or any type of blunt, like no trauma to the head or anything.
Okay. So as far as any health conditions, her family already ruled that out. That's been already thrown out by the family. And I'm just really appalled at the fact that when investigators first get there, everything in their bones, and usually investigators, they're right the first time. When they have a hunch and they keep prying at it, they're usually right. When they first got there, they said, nah, this don't make sense. It's not adding up. All their stories did not add up. This happened in the middle of the night. Everyone in that house was asleep, and she just fell over, and y'all found her in the morning. And the husband, the one woman's husband said, oh, I touched her leg and then she was dead. No one rendered CPR.
But you would have to think, too, that if she fell, especially if she fell 2 stories, you would have heard a thump of something, of somebody hitting the ground. So don't you think that would have woke a motherfucker up? It would woke me up, but...
Right. So also, they didn't hear anything. The husband touched her leg, and he says, I touched her leg, and she was just dead. I knew she was dead. When they first came out there, everyone would have been frantic. Oh my God, what happened? Flip her over. Let's do CPR. Because that's the first thing you think of. When you see someone laying face down, let's flip them over. Let's check and see if they have a pulse. Let's render aid. No aid was rendered. When the cops got there, they didn't flip her over or anything or try to see if she was alive. They didn't do anything.
Well, first rule in mostly those cases, just so you know, as a former military member, you're not supposed to touch them in case they are injured because you can actually injure them more. So you have to wait for paramedics.
No, that's not right. Cops are trained. That's not a rule.
EMT practices, you are not to move anybody.
Cops get in trouble for not rendering aid.
If someone falls, look it up. EMT 101. You are not to touch somebody if they fall. You have
CPR certification?
You are to not touch the body if they fell.
If someone is flipped over and you do not render CPR, you are going to be prosecuted. When you get your CPR certification, there is a thing. If you do not, anyone who's ever been an STNA, a nurse, doctor, whatever, if you get your CPR, your CPR certification, you're supposed to render aid to someone who needs aid. And when you get there, like if you start and you get tired, CPR is a very tiring process.
I know.
You cannot stop CPR because you just like, okay, I'm just going to give up and I think they're dead. You're supposed to at least keep doing CPR until the cops get there, the EMT can get there, to
Somebody
take
else
over.
and
And you have to look like you at least tried, because you're gonna look jacked by the time they get there. And if you don't do that, you can lose your license and be your certification and be prosecuted. That is a thing. And all police officers are supposed to be trained in CPR, and they are supposed to have a medical bag in their trunk. That is the fact. That is the thing. All over the place. So there's been so many balls that have been dropped with this. Pat, you have anything you want to add to this?
I see both sides of it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand from when you first look at it, you look at the story, you see exactly what I saw, the videos that I was sent to watch. And, your gut instinct, and you hope that you're wrong. Like, I hope I'm wrong. Hope I'm wrong with what I said earlier. And I hope, it is an accident and it was just something that happened. So I could see definitely both sides of it. I could see his side of it, and I could see your side of it too, where it's like, you don't know. And if the police aren't doing their job, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's a missing body or anything like that. The body's right there. Like, what's, investigate.
And this was another thing. They had said she was on the back porch and she was smoking marijuana on the back porch and cigarettes.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, y'all saying she fell from the balcony. But then y'all said she was downstairs in the basement. Then y'all said she was on the back patio. It was just too many changes in stories. And then this puts me on the mind of Ahmaud Arbery. Do you know why this puts me on the mind of Ahmaud Arbery? It's because when this happened, no one came out and arrested these guys. Why didn't they arrest them? Because they were friends with the mayor. They were friends with the cop who was on the scene. And the mayor, I think one of the prosecutors, ended up getting fired because she was trying to cover it up, saying I was going to take care of it. And from that story alone, and just seeing how that unfolded and all the corruption with that, this puts me on the same mind of it in Georgia. Because we now know that Georgia has an issue when it comes to covering up crimes that are committed against Black people.
Don't forget, Georgia is racist as all the fuck too.
I mean, it is, and it perplexed me, because how did the investigation become so lax? Like, the investigators stopped investigating. Basically, they weren't hammering the people at the party. They were putting kid gloves on with them. They were talking really nice to them. When you suspect someone of a crime and you're going to interrogate them, you're interrogating them. You're not going to sit there and talk to them all nice. Well, yeah, I know him too. Just like, that's how they were talking. Like, oh yeah, I know this. And I'm just like, the whole investigation is a joke. So they had to hire someone on the outside, independent person who does autopsy, mortician or whoever. I can't think. Coroner. Thank you.
Independent
coroner. Guys, today's a day. But anyways, like, this woman not only was someone's daughter, she was a mother of five, and you can't give us no real answers of what happened to her. And all of these people said that one guy said they had a little heated exchange, right? And now she dead.
Yeah.
If that is not, they arrest people all the time and they don't even have bodies. They arrest somebody, oh, I suspect that you killed this person. We don't quite know where their body is yet, but we're going to go ahead and hold you for 48 hours until we figure out something. I mean, of course, they look like us, but still, nothing. This story hurts. Go ahead,
We
Brandon.
need Johnny Cochran to come back from the dead, right? And use his Chewbacca case.
He's a defense attorney.
Yeah, he uses Chewbacca case. So that way, get people off from murder and stuff. He's like, what does Chewbacca got to do with this case? Absolutely nothing.
But B, I'm going to ask you this question. Why do you think it took for social media to highlight the story?
Well, it's not really my thoughts. It's just when things get traction like that, and because of what's happening in recent events with the FBI, law enforcement is becoming less and less trustworthy. They're making it more of a problem than solving. And the FBI is considered the most trusted of all the law enforcement branches, and you can see corruption in their level. So imagine like what's happening in the local municipalities. So like it's just getting bad. It's being shown. Everything's coming to light now. So if there is some cover-ups, I really do hope that a DA is appointed, a special power, special district attorney, or some type of attorney that they can have that's independent of this case to go and investigate, because they need someone coming out there with no type of bias and just an outsider to see things from a different perspective, so they can find out like what's going on. Get IA in here, you know, get the DOJ involved once they clean it all up. You know, once after the midterms and they clean it all up.
And so just to let you guys know, this happened a year before Ahmaud Arbery, just so you know. And this is why it bothers me, because it's like we've seen all the corruption with Ahmaud Arbery. And like you said, law enforcement nowadays cannot be, like, they just can't be trusted. And it's just like, it hurts me. Like, it hurts me personally. Like, I know her. And the reason why it hurts is because if the people who are hired to do a job want to protect their friends, the community stands no chance. Because it doesn't matter if she was Black. She was a person. She was a person. And I truly believe someone hurt her. And because they're friends with the police department, and the cops aren't going to do their job. So, Jazz, let me ask you, why do you think her story was not on syndicated channels? Why didn't have every dang information on Trump? They knew what time Trump peed. They knew what time Trump ate. Like, CNN be getting all the tea. Why didn't CNN?
I'm glad you brought all that. No. CNN don't get the tea. They got it wrong many times. Anyways, the ones that really did get it right, they're the ones getting pushed down. So got to remember, the corruption. What keeps corruption from being shown? Right? How do we keep it? We sweep it under the rug, right? We don't want it to be said on these channels. We don't want it because it's going to bring out a bad press, right? What's the worst kind of press you don't want is the bad one, right? You don't want to be infamous. And right now, what's happening is, like you said, why did it take to social media? Because the community got involved and said enough is enough, and we're done. So they started bringing it out there, and it got fire, got on it, gasoline hit it, and it just sparked up to a place where now Georgia's law enforcement is completely looking like crap right now.
It is.
Their local FBI offices look like crap.
Yes.
The governor's race and all that stuff, like what happened with Stacey Abrams not accepting the election results, and her saying that her election was stolen. The whole things with the voting machines, like everywhere. I
don't know. I don't know. She kind of had some points, because there was a lot of fraud going on in those Georgia counties, and investigators did find out that there was a lot of corruption.
And I'm saying the entire state is having a problem, and it's growing.
Remember they had to do they had to revote
special election. No, they did a special election.
Yes, that's crazy. Georgia is really showing us the way not to go. Really,
it's getting bad. And I think it definitely needs to be reined in. But again, like you said, corruption's there. I
got 2 more minutes to cover this story, and then I want to definitely interview Mr. Pat. So, Jazz, I know this story was near and dear to your heart. Jazz, why do you think we really needed to cover this today? Tell us what you feel as an African American woman. Why did this story resonate so much with you, Jazz?
Because one, like you said, like she was somebody. It's not like she was like a criminal or out killing kids or any of that. Like, she was actually a human, a mother, a friend, a daughter, cousin, to somebody, and just for something like that to happen and nobody says anything,
like she didn't matter.
But it's horrible because it's like she called those people friends. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I've been in the exact same situation where I've been the only chocolate person in a room full of white people, but it's like I guess you can feel the energy, because it's like I could sit in a room and I can feel the energy and it don't feel off or nothing like that.
Right. My Youngtown white friends, if they feel the energy is off, they we riding out.
My best friend is white, and I mean, she does the exact.
But you know what? It's different in regions too, because like I said, I never really experienced racism until I moved to the South. I
told Eric that.
You remember Mickey's on the on Market Street? Mickey's mostly white bar, or the one over there off of South Avenue. Mostly all white people. You walk up in there, you having a fantastic time. The music ain't stopped when you walked in. It's just so different.
I told Eric that. Like I told him, I'm like, me growing up in the North, like the white people in the North and the white people in the South is literally completely fucking different. And it's like just because they.
And it's not all. I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna make it a
majority of them.
A broad statement like that because it's just so many. It's so many Caucasian people who are cool. So many people. Yeah, because I don't want to make it like that, but there are some who just don't like us, and I just felt like someone there did not like her, and they wanted to do harm, and she thought she was in a group full of people that maybe she could learn from. Maybe she looked up to them, and she thought she was in a safe place, but she was definitely not. And the way this went down, I know she had not one friend there.
Exactly. Not one friend there. Not one. And that's
where was her husband? Every last one of them husbands were there. Where was her husband at?
Exactly.
Why wasn't her husband there? You know what?
There's another question. You
know what? 5 kids. He was at home kids. That's where he was.
Oh, yep.
Never mind.
Where was the husband doing daddy duties? Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Never mind. I'm just saying though.
Trying to throw him under the bus. Damn.
There's a code amongst us girls. Like if I invite Jazz over and I invite my homegirl Sierra over, we're going to be girls. Husbands aren't going to come along. Now, if Jazz invite me over and it's her, Eric, and her friend and her husband, hubby coming along.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's just the vibe.
Exactly.
Well, I just wanted to highlight this story and give you guys some more information on her because I don't want to stop speaking her name because I still want this case to be investigated. Just like Sandra Bland.
Be highlighted. So I got another story that I want to highlight, but we're gonna talk about that on another day. This is definitely for another podcast too.
All right, and Mr. Pat, I'm sorry. Listen.
Oh no,
we got so tied up in that. And listen. I'm so sorry from this organization because today my mind ain't there. But I am so excited to have you on. So, Mr. Pat, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce yourself. So, reintroduce yourself. Your name is Pat Sims, and you live where?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Oh, you live where?
Oh, I'm in Youngtown, Ohio. Ohio. Yeah, so I hear we got some people that's representing the Yo. So
yeah, we all.
I don't tell nobody that I'm from Youngstown.
Oh, okay.
I really am.
We all grew up.
You are. Oh, y'all. Okay, very good. But yeah, so I'm kind of really excited to be here and do this with you guys and share what I'm all about. I feel like when you're opening up a business, it's more about the person than it is about the business, and I feel like I'm perfect for this scenario. So just to kind of transition into what you guys were talking about. I'm going to kind of throw a remix on this just so we can transition properly. At the age of 6, I moved out to Austintown. My family moved me out to Austintown, which is a predominantly white suburb in Youngstown. So it's a very, I would say, a ratio. It would be like a 90% white to about 10% black.
Sure.
And everything else mixed in. And I worked my way up in retail. So I started at the bottom, worked my way up, watched all the promotions go through, pass me by. And it kind of gave me that sense that I really didn't want to work in that corporate environment like that. But the things I learned in those 15 years that I was in retail at that same job was being the way that I look in a predominantly white neighborhood. It gave them that time to learn about our culture instead of like categorizing us all in Youngstown as thugs or the negative things. They see a well-spoken black person and then they get all kinds of confused. You know what I mean? They don't know how to act. They don't know how to treat me because they have that perception
that you're automatically criminal.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what that's my background in a nutshell. You know what I mean? I I have 3 kids that's in the Austintown school system. I'm teaching them ways to work for yourself, which is extremely important,
It
and
is.
literally make lemons out of lemonade. So somewhere on my website there, that's the story that I tell, is like making lemons out of lemonade. No matter where you are, you have a chance to recreate yourself. You know, don't let anybody put a label on you.
Right.
And everybody loves lemonade.
Yeah, and who doesn't love lemonade? Anyway.
Right.
So just to kind of transition a little bit, let's talk about like the pandemic. So the pandemic was definitely a lemon. You know, it was terrible, but my lemonade was, I was able to purchase the house of my dreams.
Okay.
The way that the economics flowed and all the value of the homes were dipping, everybody was panicking,
Right.
nobody was doing
Right,
anything.
Platinum.
Right?
Platinum P said, I love that mindset.
Absolutely. So I was able to purchase a home directly across the street from Mill Creek Park. Okay, so that was my directly, like Show Recreational Park off of Bearsden Road.
And Youngs, and that's in Austintown, right?
This is in Youngtown.
That's Youngtown. So
yeah.
It's like around the corner from Cumming.
Oh, okay.
What you're
That
talking about.
that big red house down on Midlothian.
No, I'm on the
No,
other
he's
side.
right in Bearsden.
On the west
You
side,
know where
right
Bearsden-
around the corner from Cheney. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Canfield Road. You know
Correct.
Canfield Road.
Go
Yes.
through, what is
Got
the
the
street?
sprinklers.
Yep.
Old Furnace to get over to Glenwood. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm directly across the street from that entrance. Okay.
Okay.
That is wild.
That's amazing. My cousin lives down there too. That's my actually.
Yeah, my uncle used to say
You know what? What's so crazy is my uncle Bebe lives down there, and my aunt Ruby, and my cousin stays down there, and I'm just like, yes. Anytime I see a family that looks like us down there in Mill Creek Park living, and I'm like, yes, because that used to be my dream too until I moved to Youngtown. But
yeah,
it's an amazing thing, and you know what? I love what you said. You're teaching your children how to work for them. That way they don't have to go through the process of getting looked over for promotions and all of that, because they are the creator. They're going to always be able to promote themselves and uplift themselves and put someone else in a position to be able to have the option to be promoted or something like that. Absolutely. But go ahead. And then I have a few questions for you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, that's really my backstory. I have a million examples of how I turned lemons into lemonade. One kind of quick one was like, because I moved where I moved across the street from a park, the road gets super busy. Well, I'm telling my kids, you could look at it in a sense that, okay, it's a busy road. You can't always go outside out front, play in the street. Like, if you get a pickup game of basketball, you can't do that over there. But it's a busy road, make a sign, start advertising. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, you're on the busy road. So it's a perfect thing for like a garage sale or something crazy, just trying to turn that into a positive.
Right. And I love that. And so instead you created your business, which is Cruise the Creek e-bike rentals. So give us a little bit of background on how you came up with the name. Well, first of all, where the idea came from, and then how you developed the name.
So really, it happened while I was on vacation down in Florida. We always try to take a family vacation down to like somewhere new. You know what I mean? So I know people who've lived in Youngstown their entire life because they don't know what's beyond Youngstown. They don't get to travel outside of the area.
Right.
So every year, instead of like focusing on Christmas and, splurging all that money into gifts that you can play for a day,
travel with that money, homie. Hell yeah.
We travel. We pick a new spot in America. And this time around, we actually went down to Sarasota, Florida, like the Bradenton, Sarasota area.
Oh, man. Yes. Clearwater. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Brandon loves Florida. You didn't tip his little beard.
If Brandon could pick Florida up and marry it, he would.
Right.
So I was down in there and, my wheels start turning, like you get on the beach, you seeing all the electric bikes and all the things that's going on that coast down there. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? How's it gonna work? My brother-in-law, he's a car mechanic, so he went down there with me, and I got to talking to him. I was like, hey, if I get these bikes, can you help me, like, maintenance them if I need some help? And then the wheels just kept on turning. So, I hopped online, I found a distributor, I ordered them, and by the time I got off the plane, they were waiting for me. So it was just like,
and this guy is based out of Youngtown, guys.
Well, all I could say is you piqued my interest because I've been wanting to go back to my old neighborhood for a long time, but I'm like terrified to go back because of how bad it is now.
Yeah,
I used to live on Ravenwood, so I could take Ravenwood straight down and just cross the dang road. I was that road there. Glenwood, just cross it over, and the entrance is right there.
Yeah,
and I would take the left one, the one where it had the hill goes down. Like when you're going, when you first start, that hill feels good. But then when you're coming back,
the one, yes.
My grandpa, or not my grandpa, but my uncle, where the Ford Nature Center is, the house that was right across with the trolley driver, my uncle used to live there.
Yeah, I used to live right there, so like that would be my summers, man. It's always Mill Creek. So if I go back, I'm definitely gonna jump on one of your bike tours.
And I got a question too for him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jess. Ask your question, and then I just want him to answer how did he came up with the name. But ask him your question.
Okay, so my question is, with you getting like the wheels turning of getting your business started, with Youngtown being so small and more closed-minded, did you feel that like it would, like how they're like
people wouldn't be receptive of it?
Exactly. Because I'm like in Florida, it's a bigger city, bigger area, so of course they're all for it. But you see how Youngtown is, so it's like.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, getting people to change up the way that they think about Youngstown in general is like the hardest thing ever.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like they beat it down so much for so many years that.
But I mean, Youngstown has improved.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's true. Whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy how much resistance I get from this. You know what I mean? Just saying, oh, what happens if the bikes get stolen? Well, that's not my main focus. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go.
I was thinking that in my head too, because it's like, I mean, I mean, I know they weren't cheap, so it's like,
right.
And that's just the stigmas that we gotta get through.
Why you get insured?
Yeah, insured.
Right.
If you're renting out my bikes, I got your credit card number. I got everything.
You can't start no business without risk.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So it's like when somebody does want to rent, is it like how like the bikes are like down here in Atlanta where they have like the QR code, you can put your thing in and basically go?
No, it's not like that. They do something like that in the downtown Youngstown where it's like a ride share, like you could drop off a bike, pick up another bike, drop off a bike, pick up another bike. Yeah, I believe that's called Yogo Bike Share down in downtown Youngstown that they focus on that. But no, we do all of our reservations right online. So you have to book before 24 hours and all that kind of stuff. So we took the more e-commerce approach to it.
Traditional. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, but to be honest, I like to do it the traditional route anyways, because with the QR code, there is oh, I'm sorry, go, you had something to say?
No, I was saying that when doing it the traditional way, it's like when they're renting, you can actually see who you're renting to.
Exactly.
Doing it that way, somebody can just pick it up and go. They could do God knows what with it, not bring it back, whatever. So.
And I was going to say,
Laura, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to say something about the QR codes and similar to that. With the QR codes, there's a lot of things that go wrong sometimes because we have like the Lime scooters and the birds down here. And sometimes you get overcharged. At least with people coming to you to reserve bikes, they have someone to talk to. There's an actual face behind the business. Yeah. And I love that you took that traditional route because it's more easier for me to put my faith in you than into a system. Because I said, I'm going to deal with someone directly. And if I have an issue, I'll probably be able to get a hold of them. They're probably going to be able to talk me through it. I'm not going to have to call a 1-800 number where I'm going to talk to someone I can't understand. So I love that you took that traditional approach. And let me.
I don't think he's doing a traditional approach there, Laura. He's using e-commerce. E-commerce is web-based.
Yeah, but that's traditional. Like it's like when you go online, you reserve a car though. So
no, it's not traditional.
My nerves, Brandon.
Traditional is like face-to-face making a deal.
Yeah.
No.
E-commerce is not the same as what e-commerce is. The bike share things, ride share stuff. Yeah, anything that's
e-commerce
mobile,
is
online.
like a website. E-commerce is a website.
Yeah,
so
it's online.
Yes, but you can
That's not
go
traditional.
to if they have an issue, he's gonna probably have a number that they can call him directly.
Yeah, that's what e-commerce is for.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Like I'm gonna give y'all
So
both
you're
a
a hybrid.
Okay.
So you're hybrid.
I'll give
give us a breakdown.
So in essence, they'll go to the website. You know, they don't talk to me directly. They'll just go over there. They'll say, "Oh, it's Labor Day, and I don't have anything to do." So they'll pick a time slot on Saturday or Sunday, and they'll pick how many hours they want. If they want to add on, like we do Bluetooth speakers that you can, have on the bikes that while you're riding for an hour, or a stroller if you got a son or a daughter that wants to tag along on the back. We got all that kind of stuff going on the actual website itself. But then at that point, they meet up with me personally. Like, it's not like, I'm out of the picture completely. They'll meet up with me. They'll interact. I'll find out if they know how to even ride a bike before I put them on one of my bikes. You know what I mean? So,
right, you don't need them jacking it up.
It is very
personal. You have a small training session with them to make sure to operate it safely and whatnot.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And I love that too, because let me tell you, I got on the scooter now. That's why I said the QR codes. I don't like to do it too much because no one's telling you how to work it. I got on the scooter. No one said don't hit the turn thing too fast. And it said whoosh. I crashed into some side of someone's house. I cut my chin. I fell. I think I had a lightweight concussion because I was throwing up afterwards. And then I didn't pay this money to ride the scooter, and it had to be done because I had to go to the hospital. And I love that option. You give us, you go ahead and you let us know. Tell me what you want the world to know about your company, about your bikes, and what it is that you want to do for the community of Youngtown.
Yeah.
Oh, the name of the thing though. That before that.
So Cruise the Creek. I'll start with the name. Cruise the Creek came up with just the vibe, you know what I mean? Like when you think of Youngstown and you try to think of anything that positive that goes on it, Mill Creek Park is up there. It's just a beautiful space. It's, you know what I mean? And when you're cruising the creek, I guess it's more like, it's almost like a cruise, you know what I mean? Like when you go on cruise, it's kind of all inclusive. You're just kind of trying to relax and just trying to be who you are if you ever get to go on a cruise like that. And I feel the same way with these electric bikes. It's like, you're not worried about pedaling up a massive hill going into the rose garden, which you got to do if you're on a bike. And you can never do that if you're just walking around. You know what I mean? Like you'll never make it from Lanterman's Mill on walking and want to go up that hill, that rose garden.
That is a.
I tried it once.
It is not fun.
It's crazy.
Not recommend at all.
And then on the flip side, it's like, okay, the bikes are the bikes. You still got to pedal like a normal traditional bike. You still got to pedal, but on a car, like even if you drove a car, you miss so much driving in a car because you don't get to see, that picture of Lanterman's Mill right there. You can pass over that street every single day, and you can never get that view where you could just stop and like
look and take his beauty.
Yeah, you could do that on an electric bike. You can see the whole park in an hour to 2 hours, which is.
I think that isn't that over there.
It's off a bit.
I rode past that. It's on the left side of the park towards the, like in the fork. Like I go to the left, like where I live at Ravenwood, and then that fork you go to the right. Correct. I stopped there and I actually like looked at it before and went to where that little what is that right there?
That's on Kirk Road.
Like that platform right here next to the building. I walked to it.
So like it's like a hall right there. You could reserve it as a hall to do like parties and stuff.
Mhm.
And then
I
you go
watched
out
the
in the back
waterfall.
patio, look at the waterfall.
I
And
loved it.
guys, you remember how it looked in the winter?
Yeah.
It's frozen. Yeah, I got the icicles and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And imagine using Cruise the Creek e-bike rentals during the winter time when it's not
No,
too much ice on the bridge.
I will not. I will not.
I'm shutting it down.
I'm not.
Oh, you shutting it down in the winter? They
Yeah,
they still be riding the bikes here in the winter.
Well,
I mean, we don't get that. We don't get snow though. Never mind. We don't get snow.
Mill Creek shuts off a lot of the roads too, so I don't want I'll see how it goes, but lately.
Oh, you know what? Nope, that's a liability. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get all up into that. So we are completely seasonal, and we're just gonna play it. The park's beautiful in the fall. It's just such an opportunity, and people are like, so there's always a misconception. So I'm gonna kind of switch gears just a little bit about electric bikes and stuff. They feel like they're dangerous or they go super fast. No, that's not how it is. You know what I mean? Like all of our bikes are pedal assist. So what a pedal assist means is it's like it does have a throttle. So like if you're on if you were cutting the grass with one of those self-propelled motors, you can push the throttle and then the grass will start cutting. You can start using a lawnmower to cut the grass. It does have one of those levers, but all of our bikes is like, if you start to pedal, then it says, okay, you're ready to go. And then it'll bump you up to 6 miles per hour. Or if you want to go a little bit faster, you go to the next level. And then once you start pedaling, it'll take you to 10 miles per hour or 15 miles per hour or 20 miles per hour. So it's not like,
so wait, it gets a little bit of a speed. Okay.
Yeah, you could adjust the speed on all of our bikes. So it's like, okay, you do know how to ride a bike, right? And then they're like, yeah, I know how to ride a bike. So once they start pedaling, the bike says, okay, you know how to ride a bike. And then it's going to take you to 6 miles per hour.
All right, I like that.
How fast can you go in them things?
The maximum speed on flat level is 20 miles per hour. So if you're on the top level, you'll be literally cruising through the park, but you're pedaling at like your normal rate.
Yeah, regular pace.
Yeah,
you're not tiring yourself out.
Vroom, vroom, like how I want to. Like
now going down the hill though, so that hill the hill, like these hills are massive. Okay, so you got to break them. So once you go down that hill, you'll be hitting speeds up to 30 miles per hour because of just gravity alone. Like the centrifugal force is going to take you down these hills and you'll be floating. It's just like the best breeze and it's beautiful.
Ooh, Mr. Pat, I got an idea.
Okay.
Next investment, one of those 8-seater golf carts.
Yeah.
And you can do guided tours yourself.
Oh, no, not even that. You get one of those Mill Creek, the beer ones with the bike. Everybody pedals.
Oh, the one where everybody pedals. That's
like drinking.
Like a bar.
Traveling bar.
There's too many hills, bro.
Park officials ain't gonna let me have that.
Let me tell you that, like cruising through.
Well, actually, they might. That is something that you could think about. They might, because it's a really this is a bigger city and everybody's open minded here. Youngtown tend to have some closed minded people.
Yeah.
And I mean, people come and fish and drink anyways. They're gonna do it anyways. At least they'll be in a controlled environment. Correct. Or like I said, the 8-seater golf carts, you could do like the tours through the park, since I know you probably know the park very well, and give a little bit of history behind it, because that's what they do down here in Charlotte. They get the Did you have to get permission from the park office for the bikes? That's a great question, Platinum P. You're not even here, and you got my 6. Period.
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah. Like everything went through completely fine with them. At first, I wanted to do I wanted to actually drop the bikes off in the park and, just have it delivered to a location, just because Ferriston Road is a very busy road. And, for a beginner biker, I didn't want them to have to cross over a busy road leading into the park.
Right.
Like, you were like, okay, well, you're not part of the park. Don't think that, we have a partnership, but they were completely fine with just having them into the park. So
that's good. That's good. I mean, and then too, that brings tourists. So it works out for you, and then it works out for the park too, because and then that works out for the city, because when people a lot of people don't know about Mill Creek Park, and when people come in out of town, and once real estate start picking up in Youngtown, people are going to start coming to that park to get their relaxation on, and that's what's going to eventually happen. And then guess what? You're already set up there. And once that start happening, all you gotta do is order your more your bikes, and then they want to make you a part of a partnership or something.
Absolutely. And that's a relationship that will go through down the line, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Once it picks up traction, I got to do all the heavy lifting. I got to prove myself before they're going to invest in me, which that's like everything in life.
Fine.
But it's coming though. I see it coming.
I know, like, I probably cut up a little bit here, but I just wanted to say that I did finally get approved for Airbnb experiences, which I'm ecstatic about. A lot of people don't even know Airbnb experience is a thing, but if you go on Airbnb.com right now, it'll say stays, and then you can choose experiences.
Yeah, I've seen those
categories there. And I'm literally the only one. I think the next one is up in Akron, where it's just like, if you're in the area, if you're around the area, it's going to bring so much traffic to the park itself and to Youngstown in a positive way. You know, it's going to be awesome. So I'll do that
on that. That is amazing.
That's
nice.
That is really amazing. Yo, and here we have it, Youngstown native, and he is out here making it happen. It took one trip to Florida for his gears to start grinding.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, as an inspirational thing, just follow what you believe in. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't feel right in a situation, you change that situation and you follow, like, your heart. You gotta, like, it's a self-guiding mechanism. Like, it's telling you this feels right, this feels wrong. You know, listen to those intuitions sometimes, because it could change your life. It'd open up avenues that you never even thought possible.
You were cutting out for me. What was your last, like, the thing you said in the beginning? Follow what your gut.
Yeah, you follow your heart. You know what I mean? You got to follow like your intuition. You got to follow that, whatever that voice is that's talking to you. You got to acknowledge it. And
those are the positive voices in your head, right? Not the ones to do things bad.
Right.
Pat,
voices in your head.
I had a question for you. So when you came back and you said you wanted to purchase the bikes, how did your wife feel about that when you said, go ahead.
So, I mean, my wife, she's amazing. Like, I can't say enough great things about my wife. I can't say
go ahead, say them.
Yeah, I mean, I can, but like I'm not even gonna say my wife. I'm gonna say women in general, because like women are, I don't know, it's just like a gift. You know what I mean? And I've been surrounded by like the most amazing women. They've influenced me my entire life, and my wife has always been so supportive of everything that I've ever tried, and I've had more failures. You know, I hit brick roads, brick walls, brick roads, brick everything. You know what I mean? I've hit it all, and she's always been there with me. So she was like, okay, here's another one. We'll see how it goes. But this is like the first thing that I can grasp onto that I'm passionate about, because I've been in retail for 15 years of my life. And I never got any recognition, none of it. I made it all the way to the top, and then they tell me I can't do this and I can't treat my staff. You know what I mean? Like, corporate, the way that they needed to be treated. They needed that encouragement. They needed that. And it was just all about the numbers and pushing papers and
forgetting that they're people.
Yeah, they're just a number. They're just a clock and number at that point. And I had to step away. And this is the first thing that I can grasp onto, that I believe in, and she backs me 100%.
And I love that. That is what's up. And I love how you said you hit brick walls and she never gave up. She still supported whatever it was that you were going to do. And you know why she did that? Because she's seen that you have that drive. Women will support people who don't give up. You didn't give up on yourself. No matter if you hit a wall, you could have quit. You could have gave up. You could say, I'm done with all of this. This isn't working out. But you got back up and said, I'm gonna try this now. You know, and I always tell people, failure is literally the roadmap to success.
Yeah.
Because you have to fail a few times to learn what you're doing wrong and to get more of a drive. Because once you fail so many times, you'll be like, okay, I know this now, and I'm gonna keep pushing. Because you have to prove yourself wrong, because you have those doubts about yourself. And you gotta, when people say I'm my competition, that is what it is. I'm my competition. I have to outdo the me of yesterday. So I love that for you, that you have a beautiful wife who supports you like that. And would you say 3 beautiful kids?
Yeah, 3.
3 beautiful kids who are going to see they're not going to see their dad's failures. I want you to know that. I'll guarantee you your kids are looking at those bikes like, my daddy is amazing. I'm telling you.
This is their business. You know what I mean? Like, I plan on going back and getting back into it, but I want them to have something to lean on where, you know, they might not, if they're learning all the things they need to do, they might not ever have to work at McDonald's. You know what I mean? If this takes off the way that it is, this is something that they can inherit. And it's actually a win for me if they're paying for their own stuff, because everything's expensive right now. For their own stuff.
That is a win. That is a win.
That's true. You know, you do want to make sure that there's some financial independence going on.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't want them relying on the government and all that stuff, too.
Correct.
So, Pat, tell us where we could go and book these bikes if we're wherever in the Youngtown area.
Okay.
What is your website?
So the website is www.cruisethecreek.com. So exactly what my name is. It's cruisethecreek.com. We focus on 3 different levels. So we have the basic rentals, and then we do have memberships for people who are from the area, where they can just get it, you know, get the rates at a discounted price and whatnot, even free if they pay for a year. So it's like almost a membership based thing. And then the third thing would be the guided tours. So like what I was saying with the Airbnb, that's going to be my wheelhouse, because I'm a very personable person. So I would love to go on the tour. So if you're from out of the area, you're on a tour with me, somebody who knows where to go, what to do, where to see, where all the hidden areas are in the park, where you would never get that experience if you were just riding a bike through the park on a
and get the history behind it. Yep, get you one of those little mics with the speaker on the back of it. And, as you're guiding them, talking to them, giving them the history, because most people, they love to know the history behind things. I know I'm that person. And Pat, you know what? I am so thankful that you came on. And like I said, I found your page on TikTok, and I seen the Cruise the Creeks, and I was like, this is amazing, because we were not so long ago talking about Mill Creek and everything that we loved about Mill Creek. Youngstown, Ohio, my favorite thing about Youngstown is Mill Creek Park. It definitely is. And I love that you took, let me tell you something. Let me highlight this. Mr. Young Black Man, you took and you made your home. You seen the prospective business aspect of the place that you're from, and you took and placed those bikes there. And there are going to be so many other people who are going to follow your lead, because you said you was in retail and you then did this and you did this. Now you're the leader. People are going to start following behind you. You started a wave. I'm telling you. Because now we're going to start seeing scooters and more bikes and stuff. Because guess what? That was a great idea.
Yep.
It was a great idea, and you came up with that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So kudos to you.
And I like what your idea is, because as someone who grew up there as well, I spent from 1995 to 2001, and those are some of the best years I think I've ever had living in Youngstown, because the people I met there, I crap you not, are still people I still talk to this day.
Yeah.
And people I met in Florida in high school there, I don't talk to. And the people I met in elementary school in Florida, I don't talk to anymore. I barely talk to my own Marine Corps friends. But the people I met in Ohio in those 6 years I was there, I still talk to this day. So it holds a special place.
Good.
Alrighty, so we're gonna wrap this up. Do you have any social media pages, Pat, that you like the world to know about? If so, go ahead and shout it out.
Yeah, the three that I have, obviously the three major ones would be Facebook. You can find it at Cruiser Creek e-bike rentals. The I'm not on Twitter. I didn't do Twitter yet. I just can't. I can't get into Twitter right now. But uh, TikTok, I started a following there. I have somebody who's going to be helping me look over that because I guess I'm too old for that. I don't know what I'm doing on that either a little bit. But Instagram, it had a really good pop. So I have about 2,000 followers on Instagram. So I'm kind of pushing that out a little bit. Networking, it's a lot easier to talk to people on TikTok. I mean, on TikTok and on Instagram because it's not that whole filter thing. Like if you can like something, you can engage with something a lot easier than it is on Facebook. So we really push that out a lot, and it's going great. So it's all Cruise the Creek. If you just search it, Cruise the Creek e-bike rental, it'll pull right up, and that's the three I'm on.
Again, I just love the Cruise the Creek. I love it. I love it. It's catchy. It's gonna pop. I know in the next year or two you're gonna be doing great things. And when you do, don't forget to come back here so we can interview you and not have no technical difficulties.
I'd love to be back on. This was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, but thank you guys. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. It has been the Laura and Hour podcast with your girl Laura Dannon, and again, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, which is the Lauren Hour Podcast with Laura Dannon, IG, which is the Lauren Hour, TikTok, the Laura Stalker Dannon, and make sure you guys follow Cruise the Creek on all of his social media platform. On all the social media platforms, and go ahead and go to the website and book y'all a bike so y'all can go ahead and cruise the creek. All right, y'all. Bye. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.